Hello bookworms, welcome to the Weekend Readers Book Club. Thank you for joining us. In this episode we are discussing the 350-ish page romance comedy novel that is You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogle that was released in 2020. Now this book here is listed as a romance novel. It's not a sappy romance story, it's more of a comedy story, and it involves our two main characters, Naomi and Nicholas, who are together, engaged, to be married. However, they find themselves not in love any longer. They recall a time when it was, say, their honeymoon period, and even after their honeymoon period where everything was ticking along fine, but lately everything each one of them does irritates each other. And the premise of the story is, well, if you leave the relationship, the wedding gets called off, and whoever calls off the wedding has to foot the bill. Yes, they will have to pay everything that they can't get back in relation to all the costs associated with the wedding that has already been paid because their wedding date is coming up close. The story is really interesting. It takes you on a journey between Naomi and Nicholas's relationships, their good, their bad, and them trying to figure out if they are right for each other or if they are actually wrong for each other and they're just going to call it quits. Naomi has a group of friends, Brandy, Leon, and, well, Melissa, and there's interactions between those four people, which is really intriguing in this book. In addition, Nicholas's main subplot, besides Naomi, is his parents. His parents are very overbearing, Deborah and Harold. Harold not so much, but Deborah, that's her little baby boy who's getting married, and she wants everything done at 100 for her son. So it's interesting dynamic, especially when you see the relationship between Nicholas and his parents, Naomi and Nicholas's parents, and then also Nicholas and Naomi's friends. It makes for a very good read. Now this book, very easy to read, and it takes you right into the action straight away. The first chapter gives you a background of how they met. Then the second chapter, bam, you're right into current day. There's not a lot of flashbacks going to past times. It's all about the current, and it's a great dialogue between both Nicholas and Naomi to try and work out where they stand with one another, and as I said, decide whether or not they're going to continue with their relationship, or one of them will give in and just go, no, I'm out of this relationship. The comedy aspect of this book is intriguing because it becomes tit for tat in the sense that, okay, we might not be right for each other, and this is pushing your gears in relation to what I'm doing. I'm going to do it 100-fold to see whether or not you buckle and leave this relationship. So a lot of pranks are in this book, a lot of, well, I'm going to say childish humor, but it's not childish humor. Just a lot of things that you could see yourself doing with your significant other just to rile them up, just to get some sort of reaction. And it's that reaction that this book's based on, because it takes you left, right, centre, all over the show. And it was thoroughly entertaining. What I liked about this book, as I said in the summary, it was easy to read. It got you right into the action. And the activities that are in this book, and I won't spoil the book for you because you need to go out and read it. But the activities that take place in this book, I could actually see happen in a real relationship. So it's intriguing to see because it's very, very entertaining and thought for provocative, where, well, I don't know if the author Sarah Hogle has gone through some stuff in her relationship, but having a look and reflecting on my own past relationships, this book right up there in relation to something that I could potentially see myself doing, be it good or bad. What I didn't like about the book, just one small gripe. And again, this small gripe is only for me. You may read this book and may not have this gripe, and that's a great thing about reading. You will interpret this book how you want to, and I will interpret it how I want to. The only thing I felt I was missing from this book was the book predominantly is from Naomi's point of view in relation to what she's going through, the activities done to her and the activities that she does to Nicholas, and her interactions with her friends, and what she foresees is her husband's interaction, or her fiance's interactions with her family, and her own interactions with Deborah and Harold, the parents of Nicholas. I would have loved for this book to be also from Nicholas's point of view. The easiest way to explain this would be, if you've read Gone Girl, Gone Girl gives you the perspective of both husband and wife, and you sort of get the picture going along where, okay, you can see both sides of the dice and what's going on at any given time in both of them. While in this book you do get a little bit of that in relation to Nicholas's interaction and the way Sarah Hogle describes what Nicholas is doing and the reasoning why, I would have loved the same amount of detail put into Naomi, taken and put into Nicholas's character as well. But I mean, again, that's just me reading the book. You may read this and have something completely different. So overall, this book, it was good. It wasn't amazing. I'm glad I did read it because I read the back page blurb and it did tickle my fancy in relation to, okay, you've got a relationship. The relationship is potentially on the rocks. Somebody has to give in, and somebody, whoever does give in, will have to foot the bill of the wedding. Now, is it going to go on my bookshelf? Probably not. I'm grateful that I did read the book. It was a very interesting book, but again, it was just lacking that one thing for me, which was more in depth from the side of Nicholas, similar to, as I said, Gone Girl. So I think if I had given me that, yes, it would go onto my bookshelf. But in saying that, while it's not going onto my bookshelf, it is a very good book. It's highly entertaining, and it is worth a read. Now, you yourself, the listener, can make your own decision on this book, because you can go and pick up this book and have a read of it and see how you feel about it, because you too may enjoy this read. Now, you can actually pick up this book. We have got links in our bio through Amazon, where if you click on them, you will be able to find the book available for you in electronic, audio, or paperback versions. So you can select whatever way you wish to enjoy this novel and go ahead and read the book. So, as always, as one book closes, another book has to open. And it is now time to find out what the Weekend Readers Book Club The Next Read is. The Next Read is brought to you by Fontytees.com. It's just fonts on teas and more. Visit today at Fontytees.com. The next read for the Weekend Readers Book Club is... We're going back to, I believe, the 1900s, early 1900s, I believe. We are reading The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. Yes, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, that gave us the Wonderful Wizard of Oz movies and everything else in between. I have had this book in my pile of books to read for some time, and I never got around to reading it. So I thought it's time for me to pull this bad boy out and give it a whirl. So I will start reading this and see if I enjoy the story of Dorothy and her journeys to the magical world of Oz. And we'll come back next episode and I'll give you my take on that. So that is our episode and discussion for You Deserve Each Other by Sarah Hogle. Again, go out and pick up the book and have a read and see if you enjoy it for yourself. If you're reading along with us, or you wish to engage us, you can. We are on Instagram at Weekend Readers Book Club, or we are also on YouTube under The Weekend Readers. Until next time, thanks again for joining us, and bookworms, happy reading.